I am back on dry land. We had our cruise, we're home, and we're ready to get back into some sense of normalcy. Hey everybody, it's me, Margaret. I'm a Mississippi native transplanted to Atlanta, Georgia, where I sheepishly share things I love with you. And today I'm loving being home. You know how when you go on vacation you have a wonderful time, and sometimes you're like, oh man, I don't want it to be over, but it's always nice to come home to your own bed and your own stuff and to get back in that routine to feel grounded again. And this time I had my oldest son home to come back to too. He's the one that finished his master's program at UCLA, and he is home as we figure out what his next steps are going to be in his exciting new life. Now, while he was here, he was keeping the animals for us, which was wonderful. And I said to him, hey, you need to check my post office box, because that's one of Bentley's most favorite things to do, by the way. And I knew that I had a KnitCrate coming in. The July KnitCrate box was coming our way. And I knew it was going to come while I was gone on vacation, so he went and got it for us. But he also had a package himself that was delivered, and he accidentally grabbed my box without thinking and broke the tape. Gasp. Now, I know that I always say to you, I'm never going to open our KnitCrates until I do it on screen. And I have cheated on occasion, and I'm cheating this time too. And the reason why is because this one belongs to you guys. As it has happened in the past, what I normally do is I keep one and then I give one away. And then I keep one, then I give one away. And the reason I do that is because KnitCrate would never have found me and invited me to be an ambassador to their program had it not been for my YouTube channel and the viewers, right? So it only makes sense for us to share it. So this one belongs to one of you. Now, he had broken the tape. It was sitting on the counter. I came home yesterday, and it was yesterday evening, you know, and we're unloading all our stuff and having to start to load our laundry, and you know how it is getting back from a long vacation. And it was over there, it was calling me, Margaret, come see the goodness inside, Margaret. And I couldn't stand it, so I cheated. So now I will show it to you, because you're going to absolutely love it, and I'm kicking myself that I've said already that I'm giving it away. But the theme is summer. Summer pop. See the pop of color. Look at, you're going to love this. Dun da da. Doesn't that look like summer? Hot colors. It's hot, hot, hot. Do 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 do. Isn't it? It's so nice. I love this yarn. Now look at it. They're kind of different. Do you see? This one is long color changes, and this one is short color changes. Now I saw this little section right here, and so I've been digging around in here trying to see, is this a combination of long and short in each skein, and we're only seeing the outside? But I don't think that's the case. As like I said, I'm digging around within each one and really checking it out, and I don't think that's the case. So that means they're coordinated together, and that just seems so fun to me. But before we get into the details, let's see what else is in that box. All right, of course, every time you get to patterns, if you get one of the regular boxes. Now this happens to be the Crochet Crate. All right, you have all the different types of options, different sizes, different prices, the sock crates, the Knitologies, all of that. This one is called KnitCrate, the name of the company, Crochet Crate. All right, now here's one pattern, and this is the beginner pattern that they're including. Isn't that cool looking? And then the second pattern is the intermediate advanced, and it's a little tee that you can easily wear it like a swimsuit cover up, or maybe just over a tank or cami. Isn't that cute? So that's great. So you get they give you a code on here, and you type it in, and you go where they tell you, and then type in the code, and poof, you download the pattern. Now, with every regular knit crate or crochet crate, or you know, ones of this category, you also get a little extra. And these little extras have been anything from something good to eat, or a notion of sort, or maybe I got a bath bomb one time. But this happens to be a crochet hook, and not just any crochet hook either. I happen to have these, which is why I'm not feeling too bad about not getting to keep this. This is from Knit Picks, and I think that this color is I think this type is called a Caspian. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll try to look that up while I'm editing. But can you see how it goes? It's like a very deep-throated hook with a round head. You see the top is round. It's not a pointy head like Susan Bates. And then it has a pretty good throat, and there's an indentation here. It's almost like a very shallow Lincoln log, and that is, of course, is where your finger goes. But there's one more thing unique about this particular hook. Do you see the end here? This makes a wonderful Tunisian crochet hook of any length, because you can buy the knitting cords separately. For example, I have an interchangeable knitting needle set, and they come with the cords, and you screw the little cords in there, comes with a little key that tightens it on, so, and I've never had any problem. I actually have one set of Knit Picks interchangeable set, and I also have Knitter's Pride, and both of those I would recommend. I've had good luck with both of them. But anyhow, you tighten it up, and the join is very smooth, and it works very well. So this would essentially make a length of any length, depending upon which size cord that you buy. Just like the knitting needles, these crochet hooks are sold as a complete set as well, with different size cords and the little stoppers on the end and the little key that tightens them up. Go to knitpicks.com to see that. Now, they did not include a cord in here for our use. You do not need a cord in order to crochet the patterns that they have included here. I don't think you do for that beginner, certainly not for a beginner pattern. I haven't looked at the pattern to tell you, but it can function as a regular crochet hook as well. But what a bonus if you want to use the cord on the end. Now, this one is an H or 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, and I really look forward to hearing what you have to say about this set. The wood is very smooth, and with the rounded head, with the rounded head, it doesn't split your yarn. So if you're using splitty yarn, this is actually a very good choice. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the winner thinks of this crochet hook. So that's exciting. Now we will come back to the yarn. This yarn is from a company called OMG, and you can get to it through Etsy. It is, well, what is it? 100% superwash merino, and you can get to it from OMG Yarn Balls at Etsy.com. This appears to be known as Jane. It's a sport weight. This is a sport weight. It would be great to knit with or crochet with. So nothing ever locks you into using these patterns, of course. And also, don't forget, with one of the regular type boxes, Crochet Crate or KnitCrate box, the regular KnitCrate box is now called the Artisan box. The company is KnitCrate, and the regular box is called the Artisan box, which is actually a really good name because we're talking about independent yarn dyers. We're talking about real quality yarn here, and artisan sounds great, doesn't it? So this is some artisan yarn too here in the crochet box. But on the back of this card is where you're going to find things like the bonus codes and your value. And that's the part that I get really excited about because y'all know I'm a penny pincher. So it tells us that the OMG Yarn Balls yarn, this is $22 a hank right here. So we're looking at $44 worth of yarn. The patterns, both patterns were $7.98 The extra, the Knit Picks crochet hook, was $6.49 for a grand total of $58.47. Now here, for the past several months, I think it was February when I got my first KnitCrate, I've been saying, oh, this is wonderful yarn, this is wonderful yarn, and it really is. You can see at $22 a hank, we're not talking about something that you run and buy at Walmart. We're talking about very high quality yarn, and you can feel this yarn and tell, you know, 100% superwash merino. The way it is spun, you can see it's nice stuff. I like everything that I have seen so far from the KnitCrate company. They make good choices. But somebody, one of my subscribers, asked me the most logical question I've heard in a long time. Margaret, have you used any of your KnitCrate yarn? And my answer was, no! I was hoarding it like it was some treasure from the earth. You know, it was just, you know how it is when you get really nice yarn, you feel like you have to have just the perfect thing to use it for, and you know, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. You understand what I'm talking about. But when I last left you in my most recent video, I was on my way to getting ready, rather, to go on my trip, to go on my cruise. And I told you that we were driving down for the first time instead of flying, because normally when we lived in Mississippi we were 12 hours away, and so that never made sense. We always flew. So I had to have my car projects, right? And my plan at that time was to gather up all my works in progress, and I was going to work on those. Well, that didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen was because I was remembering the last cruise. And at the last cruise, I was knitting the hitchhiker scarf. Now, I was a relatively new knitter at that time. I think it was the last cruise. It could have been the one before that. I don't remember. But for whatever reason, that was riding around in my head and I couldn't shake it. So I got my last month's KnitCrate, this yarn right here, and I'm making a hitchhiker. It just seemed right, cruise, hitchhiker. For whatever reason, I felt like I needed to do that. So did I touch my whips? No, I did not. They're still sitting there undone. I'm happy to say that I only had slight problems with my elbow. I hurt it a couple of times at the buffet bar. Seriously, this is 100% true. I had, you know, the tongs. I was reaching to the back row of the food. It was two different things, and I wanted the thing that was in the back. And so I grabbed those tongs and I was pulling up like this, and it hurt my elbow. I mean, I actually felt a little twinge in my elbow. I was like, dadgummit. Being a pig, I hurt myself. But for the most part, my elbow's doing better, and I did all of this on the drive down and the drive back. I know it doesn't seem like much, but that's a lot with fingering weight yarn, don't you think? But I have to say, this is Knitologie. This is KnitCrate's own brand of yarn called Knitologie, and I loved it, or still love it for that matter. It's kind of a roving, I don't have my desk in front of me. I can't put anything down right now. It's kind of a little roving yarn, kind of like fuzzy. And while I haven't made any mistakes, knock on wood, to where I had to rip back or anything, I do know that it probably is a little difficult if you have to rip out a whole lot of it because of that roving nature. Let me show you against my blue and see, can you see any little fuzzies coming off the yarn right here? I don't know if it's possible to see it or not, but that when you see those little fuzzies, it sometimes makes it difficult to rip back because they kind of tie themselves in knots together. Now, do you see this crazy cake? When I was winding it up, you know, I have an umbrella Swift, and I was winding it up on something happened, I don't know what, and it kind of got all wonky. So it was tying itself up in knots inside the ball. I've since fixed it by pulling this spaghetti out. But that is where I discovered that it would probably tie itself up in little knots. You have to be very gentle when you are, you know, releasing a knot or ripping back or anything like that. But that's normal for this kind of yarn. That's for this particular kind. But I have to just rave about this. If you look on their website and want to choose a more inexpensive option, if you like the idea of having a surprise every month of some fine quality yarn, I would highly recommend going with this Knitologie box. Look and see, there's a Knitologie socks, and there's the regular Knitologie where you would get different types of weights of yarn, and that's what this one was. Let's see, it's that's how you spell Knitologie, like that. And if you're interested in this yarn, it's called Fresh Start. It's got 60% merino wool, 20% nylon, 20% alpaca, and it is fingering weight. So, like I said, this is their brand of yarn, and it is available in a box. It's a more affordable price. Nothing about these boxes is what you would call cheap or inexpensive. It's very high quality, and I think very appropriately priced. So this is a great way to put out less money per month and get a quality product and enjoy the surprise. Y'all know that's probably part of the thing that I love the most is, ooh, what are they going to send this month? All right, so I am boxing this back up, and I'm going to wait on the giveaway. So let us give this approximately 1 week. Today is July 16th. If you would like to be entered for this giveaway, you need to put a comment below this video. Not on my blog, not by Ravelry, not on the Facebook group. You enter by viewing this video, hearing these instructions, and then putting a comment in the comment below. But what I would like for you to comment is, I don't know, let me think on that a second. Okay, I got it. I want you to comment below, do you knit more in the summer, less in the summer, or the same amount as you do in the colder months? So I guess if I'm talking to you Australian people, I should say, do you knit more in the warmer time, less in the warmer time, or the same amount as the cold time? That's a very global way to put that, isn't it? Okay, so as you can tell, this is open to international subscribers. You do need to be a subscriber to my channel, and you do need to make a comment in the comment section below to be entered for your KnitCrate. We will give this 1 week. So today is Sunday. I usually do not film on a Sunday, so we are going to say Monday. Winner will be announced Monday the 24th. Who will get the summer KnitCrate? Now, speaking of global yarn, you know what I'm holding here? Yarn from Finland. This is yarn from Finland. This came from a subscriber, Satu. S-A-T-U is her name, and I think I'm saying that right. If you have seen Erin Gimme Yarn 418's video where she showed everything that was in a box that was sent to her from Finland, this is the same person. Now, this was one of those surprise things. You go to your box, your post office box, open it up, and there was this box from Finland. It was like, wow! And Satu was kind enough to include lots of things in there for us, and a letter complete with pictures and stuff all about Finland. And I told her, we as Americans they hit the high spot in geography about everything. We know what the capital is. We know the basics of every country, but that's about it. We don't really delve into it. And she really got my curiosity up about Finland, especially now that I know someone from Finland. And so, you know, I'm a researcher. There's no secret about that. I read and research everything that interests me. And I threw myself into YouTube, of course. I found this great guy. He's an American. I'll have to put the link in the description box below. I hope I remember to do that. And he is kind of showing us Americans around. He compares and shows a lot of different things about stuff that we're used to here in America and how it's done in Finland. And it's really a neat way to get to know the country. So thanks to Satu for sparking our interest in that. Now, along with this yarn, she told us a lot about how natural it is for the people in Finland to be charity knitters and crocheters. I think knitting is probably more predominant, judging from her letter. I don't know, but you know, it's much more cold climate up there than it certainly is around these parts. And so therefore, any kind of, like the Children's Hospital or something like that, they put word out, and it's just like a given that you work together to provide these things, these needs. And it's wonderful. And you know me, I am a charity knitter and crocheter. That's primarily what I do with my yarn. And so that was like really fun. And socks right now, they actually like to knit their socks out of a very thick yarn because it's very cold there, right? And this is 100% wool. This is more of their economy version, which is wonderful. I really want to see, what do you do? What's your normal, average, everyday yarn that you work with in your country, you know? And I'm holding some in my hand. So that was really neat. But then she also threw in these extra things. I don't have the chocolate or the candy that she sent. This was a while back. And as soon as we got it, we dove into it. And of course, I was in the middle of getting ready for this trip and all that kind of stuff. So we gobbled it up, and I didn't save any to show you, and I apologize. But you can go on Erin's channel, and you can see, because we got similar things in our boxes. It was fun. But there was a candy that is second cousin to licorice. That's the best I can describe it. And it's a very common candy over there that's popular. And she told me, you don't have to like it, but do give it a try. And I did. And it did have too much of a licorice taste to float my boat, but that was great because Thomas loved it. He loved it. So we made him save a few pieces for Dad so he could experience Finland too. And the chocolate was really rich and creamy, something similar to maybe Godiva chocolate was the texture. Very, very high quality chocolate. And then this is fun. This is tea. It's some flavored teas. On this side it has some English, but it says all things fun are good for your tummy. And these guys, it's actually a popular children's TV show, Moomin. And so, of course, being the researcher that I am, I got on YouTube, and you can actually watch Moomin, and he's in English too. It's really, really a cute little show, children's show. So these are the teas, and yes, I have already had one of the teas, and it was delicious. But it has several flavors in here. You can see all their different packages, different color packages. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute. So that's really fun. I mean, what a treat to open your mailbox and you get a package from Finland. But you know, the best part, I think, was the sweet letter that she had included. And I mean, remember, the whole reason I started this channel in the first place was because I didn't have any friends that understood my love for knitting and crochet, yarn in general, and now sewing. I'm keeping my videos a little bit separate. I'm meeting a whole bunch more people who love sewing, and it's such a treat because, again, nobody I know cares one iota about it. So it's just really special when you can connect with somebody, you know, even though we were writing back and forth through Ravelry or whatever, it's still really neat to have a relationship of any type with a friend from Finland who understands and loves what I do. And I appreciate it so much. So thank you, Satu, once again. Now, I don't have any finished projects to show because, well, not any finished yarn projects to show because I've been sewing like a crazy person before the cruise. I made this cute little dress. I made, well, several other things that I will put in a separate sewing video so that, you know, I can talk more about it without taking up any more of your time if you're not interested in that. And I look forward to doing that one as well. But this one needed to go ahead and get uploaded because that knit pics may still be available. For instance, if you don't want to wait to see if you win this, as I'm giving you 1 week for the entry, you can possibly buy this yarn or this box in general if it's still available. So you need to check that. Remember that you can get your subscription if you want to knit picks for any of these specific categories or any of the particular offerings. Just enter Sheep20 and you'll get your first box at 20% off. So that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being patient while I was out of town, and we will talk again. At least we know we'll talk again next week, won't we, when we pull the winner. So see ya. Bye.